Thank you for tuning in to Sundays at the Square. I'm your host, Toni Ringgold. I'm sitting here right now with some beautiful ladies. We're talking about a very serious subject. It is sexual assault. We are talking about this month is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. And if you're just tuned in, gosh, you want to definitely stay. Don't touch that dial. Listen, this is a very important subject. Kyra had a thought. I want to give her the floor and allow her to share. Okay, whatever you do, speak right in and don't move.
Okay, this is what I want, and that's why I'm here, because you are a hero. You are a overcomer, baby. You have conquered this thing. By you saying something, standing up, going to the authorities, seeking justice, now you're speaking out, you're doing something, you're being an activist right now, you're taking action. You will never know until God reveals it to you when you go to glory, or somebody will start to tell you how much you helped them. Y'all, the thing with the devil, he comes in sheep's clothing. He comes, and people don't, and I was reading the statistics. Most of the child molestation, adult rapes, teenagers, they're people you know, your friends, your family members. And they tell you don't say nothing. You know why they tell you don't say nothing? Don't tell. First of all, they don't want to get in trouble. They don't want to get caught. But it's something demonic, because if you don't tell, you're not going to be you until you get this wrong that was done to you right. And it takes somebody so brave to speak out about it.
Because and if you didn't speak out, then she wouldn't have spoken out.
And then think about how many other people, if he would keep getting away with it, if you don't speak up, these women are going to suffer just like you did. By you speaking up, you're helping stop it. You're helping save them, prevent them. Maybe we bring them to justice. Look at, and I don't know if I'm being premature when I say, look how long Bill Cosby was doing this.
And I love Bill Cosby, man.
So, baby, you are a hero. I want to tell everybody who's listening to my voice, if you are a victim of sexual assault and somebody told you, if you're a child, no matter how old you are, if it happened to you when you was a teenager, if you are a victim, tell somebody, talk to somebody, do something. Don't just take it, because you don't have to be a victim your whole life.
Right.
And that was something I had to change my mindset. And if you're not taught this and we don't speak this, you will live your life being a victim. Where every time you make a mistake or you fail and you don't conquer something, oh, well, this happened to me, that happened to me. You don't have to live your life a victim. And most of the time, things happen to us as women, young men. I've had so many stories of men opening up to me and telling me that this happened to them.
Yes.
It's because God put something in us and the devil sees it. So he's going to attack you, try to break you down, try to stop
kill, and destroy.
Make you think you're not powerful, when actually you're way more powerful, because now you've lived through it. You've conquered it. You can offer somebody a key.
He comes,
to, hey, go, do this, say something, and actually stop the perpetrator. Because there's a lot of them out here that are getting away with it.
And yes, go ahead.
And I just want to highlight and reiterate what you're talking about at this point, because what we see when we look at statistics, and so when we talk about empirical data, that's the research that we look around and find. Now, this is what happens. Research tells us 1 out of 4 women will report. 1 out of 4 sexual assault. Wow. So that means the other 3 it never gets reported. So you got 3 times the amount never being reported. 1 out of 64 men.
Oh,
yeah. But then we look at who it happens to. 1 out of 6 women, 1 out of 5 women, 1 out of 7 men that it actually happens. But we're talking about on the reporting aspect of it. And the fact that I hear your stories, and I have to ask the question when we talk about advocates. See, going out, and I did a training and the other day when I began to tell individuals, a person having to go out to a courthouse and trying to do your own paperwork, and they give you this huge packet and say complete that. That's the job of an advocate. And when we open up this program, I said I advocate on the behalf of the victims. This is what we mean by advocacy. So what you ladies are doing here today, it gives other individuals and other victims that are out there, and I don't like to use the term victims. I like to use the term overcomers. they are out there, because even if you've not been able to come to terms with it, the fact that you are functioning, you have to get up and function. You have to get up and go to work. You have to get up and take care of your children. You have to have a way of life. When you look at all of that and you're still here, you said earlier, they talk about, you're still here. You're still here.
It's hard, though.
It is. But that's where the education comes in. Because when you were talking, you was like, people, and we show the lack of education. Well, how do you know you were doing so-and-so, so-and-so? When you get to the neurobiology of trauma, and that's what you were dealing with, the neurobiology of trauma. And so you're going to have flight, fight, or you're going to freeze. Yeah. And so it seems like you took flight. You were still in emotion. But the mind, what we call the amygdala, the one that help us, and the hippocampus, I know I'm getting into the biological terms and things of that nature, but I'm just trying to get it to an understanding. What the mind will do, what the mind is supposed to do, and that's supposed to protect you from trauma. Yeah. And so you may be walking motionless, but now you've taken flight. Or you can freeze where you stand still and you can't do anything. You see people, they said the child just froze and just stood there. Yeah. Or you leave. So what I'm saying to you, everything, this is not uncommon. Your reactions and everything that you guys are experiencing right now, it is not uncommon. This is very common.
I had to say something too.
Okay, go ahead.
For those of you who are listening, thank you for tuning in to Sundays at the Square. I'm your host, Toni Ringgold. I had to say something too as well. I used to say all the time, because I'm a domestic violence survivor, and I experienced molestation in an early age, so I've experienced a lot of trauma. But I remember growing up, and I would hear about women that were in abusive relationships. And I remember saying, I would never go through that. I will never da-da-da-da-da. And if I was in that situation, I would have reacted this way. Those who are having experienced what Miss Sharice has experienced what Kyra experienced, or even what I've experienced, you don't know what you would do in that situation. So it's very, very important for you to be sensitive about the things that you say, and to really think about your actions and how you approach someone that it has been a victim. Because just because you think you want to deal with something a certain way, or that you would have this different approach, you may react. Your body may do something completely different than what you think you would do in that moment. So I just want to make sure that, as we continue to go through these subjects, that we keep that in mind, and we respect those that are survivors and are overcomers of traumatic situations. Kyra, first of all, this subject is not something that we can talk about in 30 minutes. And I knew that it was something that I wanted to talk about, but we could really keep going on. And I can't believe the time is going as fast as it is going. But I will definitely say this. You kind of brought up the Bill Cosby situation, but I know you have a piece that I want you to share, because one of the things that I'm so grateful. You ain't got it. You ain't got nothing right there. Oh man. Okay. Well, listen, I'm gonna have to have her come back, because I want her to share. It was one of the things that's really important. And I thank God for us. I thank God that He has given us gifts and talents. I will tell you all the time, singing, me able to sing, and my relationship with God saved my life many times. Times that I would just literally just stay in my room or wherever I was, and I would just sing to God. Yes. And that's literally what got me through. Yes. So when I sing, and I don't take it lightly in any capacity, because I understand that that's the gift that God gave me for me. Not even just to share with the world, but He gave it to literally keep me sane. Yes. So I appreciate your gift. And I definitely want to give you an opportunity to come back and to share that poem, because I think it's something that we definitely want to keep going. But Kyra brought up Bill Cosby.
One more person say free Bill Cosby. I'm gonna write
or where the evidence.
I'm gonna write the people a letter, and I'm gonna send Bill Cosby over there to holler at your mama and your sister and your cousin. How you gonna free Bill Cosby? And tell him I said it. No.
So we had a different. This kind of brings up a really touchy subject, because those that are in the African American community, and I'm gonna let Miss Lolita, because she had an opinion yesterday, and I was like, "What you mean?" I'm gonna let her tell a little bit about her opinion. But this is what I will say. Number one, I just believe in my heart that he did it. I really do. I believe that he did it. Do I believe that it and was I believe it. It was still doing it.
It's never the one you suspect, though. It's never the one you suspect.
Never the one you suspect.
Yeah, it's never the one you suspect.
Right.
Y'all remember that.
I just want to highlight. Thank you, Melissa. She said, those statements before. She's made those statements before, each and every last one of them. And so she just wanted to say thank you. And Lexi said, I am almost 60, and yes, I overcame.
Yay.
Yay.
Okay. So, Bill Cosby. And the whole situation of him being convicted and all of that good stuff. The issue that some people brought up that I actually found interesting, and I did ponder on it later. Now, in no way, shape, or form am I condoning his actions, because I do think he deserves everything that he gets. And honestly, it's a long time coming if we're going to be for real.
If we're going to be for real. Yeah.
There is something to me, there's something that says something about a person. This man, and it makes you, it baffles and boggles my mind, because this man had a television show that literally changed the way that black people saw black people, and other races saw black people. This show was responsible for getting kids into college, for people graduating, for people going and saying, you know what, I'm African American and I could be a doctor. I'm a sister and I could be a lawyer. It literally changed the dynamic of the world when you look at a different world. I love A Different World. I still watch it. Willie was my home girl. I love it. I'm telling you right now, Willie she made my whole life. I loved her. I love watching her. Right? So when you think about that and you look at now, knowing and understanding that this person was a predator.
Yes.
In real life.
How can you be so good? You got shows like Fat Albert that are teaching principles and character. I watch Fat Albert. I let my kids watch Fat Albert, talking about not being a bully, respecting your parents, going to school, doing this and doing that. And at that time, and all throughout this whole career, had been drugging and assaulting women.
What does the Bible say? The gifts and callings are without repentance. So what does that tell me? That tells me that someone can have some serious character flaws. Mm-hmm. But what God has downloaded, he has downloaded. And he said he can use a donkey. Right. So even if he used him and his gifts and his talents to go out and do what he did in America, because we needed to see, the African American community needed to see what success would look like. They needed to come out of that hood rat mentality. And our children needed to see that, like Brother Tavares said yesterday, he was thinking he was going to graduate from high school, go to college, and become a doctor. I mean, God had other plans for him.
Right.
So the purpose, his intended purpose, it was served.
Right.
Now, those character flaws that he refused to get in check, because things will come back.
The truth will always reveal.
People have those demons in.
Wait, no, get on the mic.
Bishop Jakes preached this, and he said, what God is doing something, he gave the analogy of weeds. God will give you this, and Satan got them weeds right with it. Mm-hmm. What God is busy, guess what? Satan is busy too. Yeah. So, where good is, evil is there too. Mm-hmm. So it's more, to me, it's more of, God made an example of him too. Mm-hmm. Even what he's going on with this case, how public he was, how big it was. God, it's a warning to God's people, and for all people, all colors, not a black thing, white thing. It's not a male, female thing. He's showing you that he's out here. The devil he's out here to steal, kill, and destroy. He's fooling us. We need to wake up. Stop they brainwashing y'all with this Cosby Show stuff. They showing these reruns. They should have been stopped showing them. Now you can show them, because now he got put away. He stopped. You know what I'm saying? But before, look how the devil been brainwashing us. Now it's so hard to believe. Oh my God, Bill Cosby did this.
Then you look at Pee Wee Herman, and he's up in the theater.
Come on with it.
Pee Wee Herman get in the movie theater, and he's sitting in there by himself, just enjoying himself, literally. But he's back on movies. He's out there doing whatever he wants to do. So you're right. You might have time, but
or the guy from Seventh Heaven.
Yeah.
Now, see, then this is the thing that they try to make it a race thing. The guy from Seventh Heaven was convicted of sexual assault for multiple, and it was children too. And he was the TV dad. So there are just so many different instances. But Mrs. Gilmore, I know you were trying to say something.
No. She touched on what Bishop Jakes gave a sermon, and what I believe has happened here. And I don't know if we're talking about the same one, but he began to talk about when you plant, And as that plant begins in the first sign of the weeds, you pull that up. So the first sign of the character flaw, even the thought, that intrusive thought that comes in, that you know is not right and you act on it, that would be the time to address that. But he says what happens is we continue to let that weed grow. Okay, then it takes root. And then now you see a tree. The roots from the tree begin to sprout up. We still haven't pulled up the roots from the tree. And so now that tree comes up and now you got the branches. And then you got the trunk. So now.
And then the fruit.
But before you know it, all these things where God was giving signs. Hey, listen, you need to cut that down. You need to pull that weed up. You need to cut that stump. You had time to come back and repent and say, you know what, I got some problems. Let me go into treatment or I got some issues. But now you got this full-blown tree. And now the fruit from that tree are effective all these people.
Millions of people now have been affected by this. And this is the thing that is so important to understand. And I'm so glad that you say that. You know, it's no. It's so good. We're going to have to go because we got a live remote coming up. But I'm going to tell y'all, this conversation is something that we have to continue to talk about. But I thank you so much for that, because that right there, that was a word. That'll preach.
Hallelujah.
That was a word right there. That was a word right there. I definitely, I want to thank each and every one of you for coming on. This will be a subject that we will not, this is not something that we go sweep under the rug and we just do a one-time thing. I definitely love the commission that you said, that we continue to support one another and that we continue to make awareness about these issues. This is why I thank God for this platform. Sundays at the Square is not about Toni Ringgold. Sundays at the Square is about helping to enhance and to build our community. It's about healing, and it's about us growing and prospering. And one thing we have to understand about the enemy comes to steal your innocence. The enemy comes to kill your spirit, and the enemy comes to destroy your future. So if you do not, like you said, nip things in the bud, and even myself, I'm always constantly checking myself, do some self-work, because of some of the things that I've gone through, I find myself sometimes being very hard when it comes to people, because I don't know you. Who sent you? You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
And I don't trust you. And so even in that, I pray that the beauty that you have, the heart that you ladies have, that you continue to that, because that's what the enemy wants to do. He wants to steal away that softness. He wants to steal away that, he wants to make that heart harden. Yeah. He wants to make you angry. He wants to make those effects of the trauma that you have felt. One thing that I had to give to Miss Lolita, she talked to me because I had some trauma, things I was going through too. And she said, baby, you gonna keep reliving it? She said, every time you keep reliving it, we're going to deal with it. We're going to grow from it, and you're going to have to go from here. So I applaud you guys for coming in. I applaud that you're able to talk about it, because you have to be able to talk about it. But what I don't want it to do is to continue to affect you in a negative way. There's going to be a time where you're going to be able to look back on this situation. You're going to be able to speak on it, and you're not going to have to cry. Why? Because you have overcome it. And understand that even in this process, you are overcoming as we speak. Every time you open up your mouth, every time that you step forward, you are overcoming. Allow that healing to come place. You don't have to relive the moments. You don't have to relive the trauma. Continue to allow God to do what he's doing. So I just thank God for this. I thank God for each and every one of you. I thank God for these connections. Let's get this help. Let's get these advocates. Let's get this counseling. There are resources out there. Mrs. Gilmore, give them your resource. Teach them to love.
Okay, Teach Them to Love. I will tell you guys, we're on Facebook. You go to Teach Them to Love. That's our Facebook page. And you can also give us a call. The office number is 254-519-2222.
She gonna give you a card, girl.
And then, and I'm giving it to the audience now. And I said it really fast, didn't I? The office number is 254-519-2222. But we have
an event.
We have an event coming up. Let me get this telephone number too. We have a cell that we utilize, 254-247-9970. The purpose of that cell is that when you call, someone can pick up a phone and talk with you. If you want to inbox us on Messenger, someone can talk with you. And so I said earlier about us doing our classes, and what we're doing, we're commissioning advocates so we can go into the community and help. Because, see, I can't reach your population, but you can. No one's going to want to, in your age group, they're not going to want to come and talk with me because, she's not going to understand. Although I do. But you have to be able to convey that to that particular population. Your population, but you guys can reach out and do that. But you're going to need the right tools, in order to make it happen. And I'm believing, God, that you're going to have a show to where we have times when we come and have that hour just to address issues such as this, because it's so needed. And as you said, God has given you that platform. Lolita doesn't need to go and start a radio show because God has given a radio show to Toni. Only thing I need to do is say, well, God, let her see that this is a need in the community and we need to build upon that.
Right.
So now you got 3 shows you're looking at, okay? Hello.
Right.
Okay. Hello.
Hello.
And so we're looking at that, and that's how we begin to build one another up.
Right.
And so with all that being said, Teach Them to Love Outreach Ministries, you guys can come look us up on our website, t3loutreach.org, or give us a call. Get with us. We're doing training. I will come out. We have advocates that will sit up and help you. We have counseling. We have a domestic violence shelter if you need shelter. And that shelter is comprised of 6 different programs. If you need anger management, if you need victim counseling, if you need parenting, life skills, things of that nature, the things that
right.
This is awesome.
So
I didn't even know.
Yeah, and so that's why we have to come together and talk to one another, because we have the programs in place, but we just have to utilize them, because it's going to take more. I'm an evangelist, and when God gave me this commission to start doing this work, because it was time to bring the faith-based community back into the community.
Amen.
We've been off and sitting in church. Oh God, yes, but it's in the church, and the church is a hospital. But guess what? We got a bigger hospital outside the door. So those that have come in there and they've gotten their healing, they've reached that level of self-actualization. Now it's time to come out, take those gifts and callings, come to the streets, help people, build these ministries, build up people, and go forward. That's what we're doing now. So that's what this is all about. Thank you, Miss Toni Ringgold.
No, thank you.
Yes,
you guys are welcome. I appreciate you all
for coming on, because this does not stop right here. We just had a big event, Shades of Purple.
Yes, we did.
Where we celebrated with 16 overcomers. They received their crown. Because, see, we got to stop giving the devil his platform, too. That's a life, the aftermath. That's a life after abuse. That's a life after trauma. And you got to move forward.
And a better one. How about that?
Hello.
Because a lot of times we think that when something happens to us that it takes away from us and then it leaves an empty hole. But it doesn't. You can grow. You can become better. You can do more. I'm telling you from somebody who knows. Don't let what your situation, don't let what happened to you define you and keep you. You don't have no hole in your heart. God is taking it and he's going to use that pain to help you walk through your purpose. Sometimes we might not ever walk through our purpose if we didn't have to go through some pain. So let's talk about that thing. You know what I mean? So listen, I mean, I'm telling you, God can use anything to get out what's in you out of you. He is going to do it whether you want to or not. Child, I got to go speak tomorrow at a church, and I ain't done that in I don't know how long. I was hiding. Do you hear me? You can run, but you can't hide. When he got something for you, I'm telling you, no matter where you go, he is going to get out of you what he has. So I want to encourage each and every one of you. Thank you for being amazing. We're going to end this show. I want to thank you guys. Make sure that you guys go and like B106 on Facebook, B106 Hip Hop and R&B. Guys, make sure you follow me, Toni Ringgold, at Toni Ringgold Music on Instagram. It's ToniRinggold. You can follow me on Facebook. Keep yourselves in mind. Keep in mind that we have the new show coming up. Going to be premiering on May 12th, my birthday. Whoop whoop! Really excited about that. Yes. I ain't gonna tell you how old I am, but yeah. I like that number. But again, thank you guys again for tuning in. We appreciate each and every one of you, and always remember, there is enough sun for everyone to shine.